in the Northeast, obviously it's pretty common to have as many or more trees than we do open ground. And, you know, we all hear about and talk about profitability per acre. Well, I'm not grazing some of my steeper slopes, and I'm not grazing in a sugar bush, and I'm not grazing in plantation pine that's, you know, it's not like parts of Georgia where, you know, it just kind of rolls nice and you could graze that real easily. You're not doing that here. I mean, the goats will, but who the hell wants goats? Okay, so anyway, I've been sorry, I did have goats, so that's why I make that statement. That's why I make that statement. I did have goats. I'm really good at making mistakes, partly because I'm really willing to try things, and I always encourage people to try. Just dive in. Sometimes the rocks are closer to the surface of the water than you think they are, but if you dive in and start, you will undoubtedly learn lessons that you cannot possibly get by reading Stockman Grass Farmer, which I love, or Gray's Magazine, which I love, or any of the Acres publications, which I love. I have to get my hands dirty. It's just part of who I am. I learned by doing. Mid-August, we had below average temperatures and a whole lot of rain. A lot of rain. Think about what's left over when hay is on the ground. It is primarily the lignified portions of the plant, right? Lignin is that woody tissue.
Of the apple.
Trees are primarily, wood is lignin, primarily. One of the things that we are blessed with here is a lot of trees, and so we have microbial, primarily fungi, communities that we're getting close to a balance where the fungi and the bacteria are in balance in our soils. And in doing that, we have the bugs to eat the lignified grass. You can tell maybe that these wild rampaging cattle are really flighty. Aside from fertility, my number one selection criterion is disposition. They are bigger than me. I work by myself. If they are overly flighty, that's a problem. If they are overly aggressive, that is a problem. And this is what you get. I have a very happy veterinary practice. They know when they come here, we can work cattle. Sometimes they're a little slow going through the chute because they're just not all that worked up about anything. But the veterinarian is happy. That's a good thing to have in this area because there is an absolute dearth of large animal vets.
Jonathan was asking me about cool season and warm season grasses. We don't have warm season grasses here to speak of. They never get a chance. So one of the things that these thistles do in the really hot, when we do get hot and dry, is they mitigate the drying from the winds. They sort of cut the winds on, lower to the surface, and they do actually cool underneath them so that those cool season grasses can keep producing, because I think it's at 80 degrees. Is that right? At temperatures above 80 degrees, you start to really compromise the growth of the cool season grasses. So it's really important to keep that down. Just by judging the species mix, we've had really beautiful bumps in organic matter by adding the residual hay with the hooves from the cows and the planned grazing. We've seen the ability to take, we've got that soil probe, and it's no trouble at all for me to take a 12-inch soil sample here on any of these paddocks. And you can just feel the difference under your feet. Some of the pastures that are farther away, the ground just feels very hard and hollow. So we've seen a nice rise in soil organic matter. And with that comes the water infiltration and the ability to hold rain. We have very little runoff on our farm.
A meal that was crafted to satisfy you on what we knew would be a chilly and possibly overcast day. So we have beef bourguignon made with beef from this farm and also from Little Seed Farm. We have roasted vegetables from Little Seed Farm and from my farm. The pumpkin came off of the hill behind my house.